Hey guys, it's Mars. Welcome back to Harpies in the Trees, where I review horror books with a supernatural focus. Vlog edition. So in today's video, I'm going to just talk about a few personal changes and, I don't know, things going on in my life. And we're going to do some reading. Originally, it was going to be for these two books, but I've already finished this one and I'm halfway done with this, so I decided to start another set because I'll probably finish this one up pretty quickly. Today we're going to read 12 Nights at Waterhouse, which I'm really curious about. There is a part of me that feels like this might be one of those books where it's like, it's not haunted, but it's haunting, you know, because I can't really tell, at least, you know, from the back. I'm not sure. So this will be interesting. And then the other one is The Eater of Gods. This is an archaeological horror, which is sort of a rare subgenre. You don't see it that often, you know. It kind of goes more into adventure, I think, but I'm always really excited by the potential of a really scary and spooky archaeological horror read. So I'm really curious as to how this will be. So I just finished up doing work for the day for my new job, and that has been pretty exciting. It's been actually pretty busy the last couple of days. I've just had a lot of meetings. Everyone is really nice, and you know, hopefully I can share some of the stuff I'm doing with you guys soon. I was actually having really bad depression for the last couple of months, since December. And I know exactly what triggered it and what happened and everything. So I was aware that it was an outside circumstance. But it definitely was wrapped into like not having work and, you know, really not knowing what my future is going to be. As soon as I heard the news, I just automatically, it was like this weight had been lifted off my shoulders, you know. It's not like all of my mental health issues are just have just disappeared, but just that weight from that specific thing, it dissipated, and that felt really good, you know, because it really felt like I was never going to be able to get out of it, and it was actually pretty concerning. The other thing that's happened though is like my alopecia areata has gotten really bad. So I actually have like two really big bald spots like this, like one right here and then one back here. Like you can't see it because of the way that I've styled my hair, but luckily for me it grows back, but this time it's pretty aggressive and I don't know how far it's gonna go, so that is kind of concerning. And also my psoriasis has gotten really bad. It's also gotten better in some aspects, like I had it on my elbows, but that went away. And then it was here on my neck, and that has kind of like receded, but now it's like moving to other places, and it sucks. It really sucks. Like I would allow someone to cut my arm off if I could just get rid of that. I've had it for years. It's never going away. It is a part of who I am. Autoimmune issues, you have one, you have more than one. You know, you always have more than one. You develop more as you get older. It's just sort of like a curse, and sometimes that can feel very heavy, you know. But all of that stuff aside, I'm really excited about how everything is going, and I'm trying to figure out ways how to do more for the channel. For instance, like it seems like people really like the new release videos and doing the follow-up videos, and I really want to also do a video where I talk about indie releases. One reason for that was because there was a commenter who, I think it was Super Strange Shadow, who had made a comment, and it just, that comment inspired me to think about doing this indie book video. I don't have time to do a lot of arcs, like I do very few, but I still want to support the indie horror author community, so I thought this might be a cool way to do it. And the way that I wanted to approach this was not going and researching indie books as much, but having authors submit to me like books that I could potentially talk about. So I've actually built a form that authors can just fill out. But the thing is like, I always want to share stuff that I think is going to be cool and interesting, you know, like I don't want to just share a book just to share a book. I want to do it because I think it sounds good, you know, it sounds like it's going to be something awesome. So I think the channel is going in a good direction, and I hope to keep evolving it to be, you know, better and more focused as time goes on. So let's get into talking about these books. So 12 Nights at Waterhouse is about two friends who go to stay at this old house. I don't know if they know it's haunted or it's supposed to be haunted, like one of those things, but one of them is a horror author. So they go there and then he's gonna write this book, and then like all of these things begin to happen which sort of like push them against each other. So it sounds like it's gonna have like some psychological aspects and hopefully some solid supernatural aspects. So let's go ahead and just read 20 pages of this. And we'll read it to chapter 4. And then see, how's it feeling? I had to get into the house. It was towering and dark, asymmetrical and multi-storied. It was so dark that it made the starless void behind it look bright, like a flaw on the firmament. Okay, so I stopped at chapter 4, and we've read all about the first night. And it seems like all of the chapters are broken up like per night, which is pretty cool. So it's really interesting so far. So there's this author who, you know, he's not like I guess he's kind of like a struggling author, you know, he's trying to get his breakthrough book. And he wants to have this like meta experience and then write about it. So he wants to stay in a haunted house and then write about what he experiences there. But he wants to stay there for 13 nights. So obviously the title of the book is 12 Nights, so I guess he doesn't make it to the 13th night, I'm gonna assume. So he's picked out this house, Waterhouse. He thinks it's gonna be, I don't know, just sort of like a perfect place because nobody has really done anything with it. Like nobody knows about it. It's not famous, you know, it's not the Amityville house or something, and no one lives there. So he can just stay there for, you know, these amount of nights and really experience it. And he has also decided that he's not going to leave. So he's never going to step one foot out of the house for any reason. And just, you know, be completely consumed by the house. So he calls the woman who owns the house and he's like, hey, I really want to write this book based off of staying in your house. And she's not into the idea. She's kind of really turned off because she thinks that he's just a ghost hunter who's gonna come and, I don't know, just whatever. She's just not into the whole entire ghost hunter thing. But he convinces her very sloppily to do it, and she agrees. So now he's at the house, and it's really funny because there's no electricity, but there is running water, but the running water smells like sulfur.
You smell like eggs. Did you have eggs?
If you ever had a shower with sulfur water before, I have. There are certain places in Portland that have like sulfur in the water, and some other places.
Oh, it is, you do not feel fresh
afterwards, I'll tell you that. But you know, there's no electricity, so this means that he's not going to be able to use his laptop or charge his phone or anything. But his plan was to watch haunted house movies, you know, while he's there. And he's also brought a bunch of haunted house books to read while he's there. So he really wants to just get in the mood. And it's kind of funny because I'm like, that's actually pretty fun. Like I feel like that would be just such a fun vacation for me. So the house itself is pretty much what you would expect. It's been abandoned for 10 years and it's rotting. So there's a lot of really nice descriptions of you know, wallpaper peeling and mold and stuff like that. So it's really, really nice. And his humor is pretty good too. So he's definitely having fun with the situation, you know. So it reads really fun. I wonder how dark it will get. I wonder how spooky and scary it will get. So we'll see. And eventually at some point his friend is supposed to show up. I'm really digging it so far. I'm really digging it. I need a bookmark. And I have this like little it's like a porcelain, I don't really know what it is, but I just use it for bookmarks. So I have so many in here. I can just always, how about we do this one? They're here. So let's go ahead and read some pages of this one. So this is about an archaeologist who goes to Egypt. I don't know what year it is. I'm going to assume it's either contemporary or it's like in the 1930s or something. But anyway, this archaeologist goes to Egypt to try and find this tomb that his wife was trying to find when she was alive. So he wants to finish her work for her. And this tomb is, it has a wife of a pharaoh, but it's a very special pharaoh. It's Akhenaten, and he's the heretic pharaoh. You may have heard of him. He tried to unify Egypt under one god. Did not go very well at all. It went so bad actually that they destroyed a lot of his portraits and work that he did, because he also tried to change the art style that they were doing. It was really cool actually. I think it's actually pretty cool the way that he wanted it to look, which is these very elongated faces. It's cool. But anyway, it's his wife. So not sure what to expect. I've never read Dan Franklin before. So let's give it 20 pages and see what happens. In her letter, she called it paradise, a quaint and quiet desert town, living proudly in the grip of the Libyan desert, ancient Berber roots running strong among the sand and stone and rugged flowers. Okay, so I'm stopping at chapter 3, page 21. Let's choose a bookmark. How about Cat Lady? So the setup is that this professor, this archaeologist, is traveling to Egypt, to a very specific village. So it takes like a lot of time just getting to Egypt, and then, you know, taking, you know, cars and camels and all this kind of stuff to get to this special village, and meeting with this individual named Hazred. Because he is someone who had spoken to Norman's wife before she had passed away. She had came to him asking him for help on locating this tomb, and he had told her no originally, but now he has a change of heart, and he's going to help Norman find this tomb. It's definitely dropped me into this village. I feel like I get a really good sense of what it feels like and what it looks like, and I was already really just kind of compelled about how this journey was. You know, you just have somebody who is jet lagged and also still not completely healed from the loss of his wife, stumbling into this war-torn place and asking someone for help, which she doesn't really think is going to happen, which when his wife was there, it was completely different. It was untouched and really beautiful. So it definitely has a mood and a vibe. So we'll see. It feels like, just kind of like from these pages that I've read, there might be a curse involved.
It's a curse! Beware of the curse!
And there's a little bit of hinting of, I mean, the name of the book is Eater of Gods. Maybe this wife is an eater of gods. It kind of sounds like maybe there's some foreshadowing there, but can't really tell yet. So I'm gonna stop for today because I am pretty tired, and we're gonna pick up and do some more reading tomorrow. So it's the next day. We're gonna be reading some more of our books and see how they are feeling. I just got done talking with a friend of mine. We are going to be doing this, it's sort of a show, it's not really a show, but I'm going to try and format it so that, you know, I can have it posted on YouTube, but basically we'll be doing it on TikTok and then dispersing it from there. But what it is we're going to be talking about ghost theories, like anything and everything. I always have new, wonky, weird, strange, unfinished theories about ghosts. And I thought it would just be fun to like have someone to talk about it with and just, you know, just explore them together. In no way is it saying this is what ghosts are or they're not, and absolutely not judging anyone's theories or ideas about what they might be, just for fun, just to explore. I think we're just calling it Ghost Talks for now, but maybe I'll have like a better name at some point. So I'm definitely going to be asking you guys what your theories are. So when the first video comes out, definitely leave us like your theories or your ideas, no matter how crazy or simple they are. Let us know, because we definitely would like to discuss them. As you know, talking about ghosts is like, I could just do it all day long, much to the boredom of many people. So let's go ahead and do some reading. Let's start with Rotter House. My sleep was exhausting. It was a deep and fast descent when it happened. But soon enough, I surfaced, submerged, and kept repeating. Okay, so I read up to page 46, so chapter 6. It's so good. Okay, so one thing I wanted to read to you, which was just kind of fun to me, was because it's like, this is sort of how I feel about the paranormal. Like, you guys know that I love ghosts and odd stuff, but I'm definitely like, I'm like on the fence, you know? I want like something really solid and real to happen to me. Even though I have had 2 experiences I could say are supernatural, it's like I need it to be a little bit more substantial. So where I am right now is that Felix has woken up from staying his first night in the haunted house. And he is kind of decided that he wants to explore the house. He tries to go upstairs, but just can't. He gets this really bad headache. He can't go up there. And as he's dealing with this headache, someone's at the door, and it's his friend Thomas. And they've had like some kind of relationship issue, but Felix has invited him to stay at Rotter House with him so that Thomas could be the believer and Felix could be the non-believer, and then write about their experience in this house. We're getting to learn a little bit about the original owner of the house and a little bit about their relationship and kind of what Felix has planned for this book, like what his idea is, which is really cool. I really love that setup of like the non-believer and the believer doing something together. It's why I really love that show Dead Files. It's like the same setup, you know. As they're having this conversation, Felix says, I make my living doing spooky things, but I don't believe in spooky things. I'm a contradiction. And then he goes on to say, I love ghost stories, exploring abandoned buildings and cemeteries at night. I love researching old history. I love everything about ghost hunting except for the ghost hunting part, which I would love to go on a ghost hunt, like absolutely. So it's really kind of, it's a really fun setup and it's really interesting. And in the beginning of the book, Felix is extremely breathless and like overconfident and a little bit like overly romanticizing getting into this like haunted house. Like you could just tell that he's like, he has all of these assumptions, and so I hope all of that kind of comes back to haunt him, you know, to like, you know, change everything upside down, and that it's actually really terrifying. So it's really cool so far. So I think this is really nice, really easy to read. The dialogue is good, and it's very like you're very like caught up in the story. It's just really, really cool. Okay, so let's move back to the Eater of Gods, and we're in chapter 3. Let's read up to chapter 5. Page 35. Are you sure? As sure as I can be. There's a long pause on the other end, a snowstorm of static rippling through the speaker on his computer. There was no video. Okay, so we're gonna stop at page 43, chapter 6. I went another chapter because I just kind of wanted to see where it was going a little bit more. So right now what's going on is Norman has assembled a team, and we know that the university that is funding this, you know, they're definitely interested in these treasures that they want to basically steal. But you know, Norman's more there just for the legacy of his wife, and he's just like, it seems like he's not really able to think about much else besides the grief that he's feeling. And a few of the team members have actually discovered the tomb, and I can say, you know, there's some booby traps in there. You know, some booby traps, which is totally terrifying. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos or pictures of like abandoned houses where certain people squat, but they have like set up some really scary booby traps. Like for instance, like for like a staircase, I saw one where like a sledgehammer was set up so that, you know, if you go up the steps and you trigger a wire, it comes down, which is extremely scary. So it's definitely reading like your very typical Egyptian archaeological adventure, you know, where you have some academic who wants to get to the tomb for monetary or personal reasons, and then, you know, everything is gonna go wrong. They're gonna get cursed. So it's pretty good. It does have a little bit of the Mummy vibes. Norman's character is actually pretty sad. He's like a pretty sad character. So I wonder how that character will evolve through this adventure that they're going to have. So we're gonna go ahead and stop here for this vlog. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you liked this video, please like and comment down below. If you would like to get more videos from me, please subscribe. I would appreciate that very much. Other than that, please take care of yourselves, look out for each other, and I will talk to you next time.